Hi, I'm Richie Zellon, and in today's lesson, I want to talk about a serious disorder that seems to affect 1 out of every 5 jazz guitarists worldwide. I'm referring, of course, to ADD. And curiously enough, most guitarists who suffer from this disorder are not even aware of the effect it has on their playing. Is this you? Well, throughout this lesson, I am going to give you all the necessary information so you can perform a self-diagnosis and determine if you presently suffer from ADD. I am at the same time going to provide you with various solutions so you can be forever free of this malady. So, this acronym that you've probably heard over and over again, ADD, what does it stand for? Altered Dominant Disorder. What did you think? I think I just insulted half of the world's guitar community. According to the DSM-5, which is the manual used by mental health professionals and is now being adopted by nearly every jazz guitar teacher, you are suffering from ADD if you suffer from at least 2 of the following 5 symptoms. Symptom number 1, every time you play a jazz standard and come across a chord which is labeled Alt, like in G7 Alt, you freeze because you have no clue what on earth it is. The abbreviation ALT, A-L-T, which I'm sure you've already figured out, stands for altered and simply means that every upper extension or tension in the dominant 7th chord should be, you guessed it, altered. For example, if you add the 9, it should be either a flat 9 or a sharp 9. If you add an 11th, it should be a sharp 11. Finally, if you add a 13, it should be a flat 13. So writing the abbreviation ALT, A-L-T, is a short way of saying that these multiple options are available. Symptom number 2, you know how to play an altered chord, but you have no clue what scale to use over it when improvising. The altered dominant chord is made up of notes derived from the superlocrian. It is the 7th mode generated by the melodic minor scale. Allow me to demonstrate. I'm going to play the infamous superlocrian scale in the key of C, up here starting on 8th position. I'm going to play 3 notes per string, and it goes like this. So that's the C superlocrian. Now, if we were to start that same scale half step up using the same notes, what in reality happens is that we'll be playing D flat melodic minor. And that's really the scale that the superlocrian is generated from. Like I said earlier, the superlocrian is the 7th mode of the melodic minor. So if we play the melodic minor starting on a 7th degree, we in reality are playing a C superlocrian. So what many players resort to, because it's really kind of hard to visualize this scale, the superlocrian that is, because of the way its consecutive half and whole steps are configured, it's easier to visualize it as a minor scale, a half step up. It has the same notes, and the beauty of it is that there are no avoid notes. You can rest on any note and it won't clash with the chord. So I'm going to play it here. Notice I'm starting D flat, and I'm visualizing it now as a melodic minor. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6. Major seventh. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6. Major 7, 1. Symptom number 3. You know the Superlocrian scale, but you're confused as to why it has a minor third and a major third at the same time. In addition, you don't know what to call the other notes in this scale and fail to understand their function for that matter. Well, first of all, functionally speaking, there are not 2/3 in this scale. Instead, there are 2 instances of the 2. Most everyone seems to be in agreement as to the function of the notes here when acting as upper extensions. However, there is lots of controversy among jazz musicians in terms of what to call the notes in this scale when they aren't functioning as upper extensions. Let me demonstrate. In the key of C here, this would be the 1. This would be the flatted 2. This is not the flatted 3. This is a sharp 2. So we have 2 instances of the 2, a flat 2 and a sharp 2. Here we have a major third. This is the only third. We can only have 1/3 within a chord, okay? And here we would have this functioning as the sharp 4 here, this being the sharp 5 here, and no 6, we jump directly to the flat 7. Here in this octave, again, we start with a root. Now here, this flat 2 can also function as an upper extension, the flatted 9. This one here can function not only as the sharp 2, but up here, it also can function as the sharp 9, 3, this one here, which is the sharp 4, functions as the sharp 11, and this sharp 5 here is usually functioning as the flatted 13th. So a lot of confusion here. Well, what is it? Is it a 6 or a 5? Is it a sharp 5 or a flatted 6? Well, depends on how we're using it, okay? Flat 7, root, again here, flatted 9, sharp 9. Symptom number 4, you know how to play an altered chord and its corresponding Superlocrian, but unless it is specified in the lead sheet, you use it in all the wrong places. Let me demonstrate. When do we use this altered chord? Well, say you're looking at a lead sheet and you find an A7 chord and there's no upper extensions specified. That is, it doesn't tell you what kind of 9th to use. It doesn't say what kind of 13th. And then you look ahead, and immediately after that A7, you see a D minor 7th. So that's a minor chord, a perfect 5th down from the previous one, which is a dominant 7th. Well, in that case, you can use the altered chord. As a matter of fact, whenever a dominant 7th chord resolves a perfect 5th down to a minor chord, most of the time you want to use that altered chord there, okay? I'm going to give you an example, and what you're going to notice here is that whenever we resolve with a dominant to a minor chord, what we're doing temporarily is outlining the tonal characteristics of a minor key. Let's say we're in C major here. And we have this progression. I'm trying to play roots on the lowest note so you can visualize the progression a little easier. When you go from this E minor to this A7, you want to play the altered chord there, which resolves beautifully to the D minor. Symptom number 5. You play the scale up and down and have no clue how to relate it to the actual chord. As a result, it does not sound melodic, let alone like jazz. Allow me to demonstrate. Those players that complain about this complain about that specific issue, not only with the altered chord, but with most of the scales or all the scales that they're playing in the beginning. And the alter scale is really the one scale you can get away with just playing its degrees up and down and not doing much fancy stuff and still sound jazzy. And that's because of all its altered extensions, and it has no avoid notes. Everything seems to sound beautifully. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to improvise over a C7 altered resolving to an F minor. And I'm going to play the scale pretty much without any fancy stuff. And let's see what happens. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it's okay. It's melodic. Nothing wrong with it. It's not unjazzy. But the question I get is, well, how can I make it sound a little bit more be-bop-ish? Well, that's where you have to focus more on the arpeggio. And you need larger interval leaps and not play in terms of consecutive half and whole steps, you know. And you need to throw some approaches in there, and then you start getting that bebop sound. For example, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you have the 5 symptoms of altered dominant disorder, ADD. How did you score on the diagnosis? Well, even if you realized you've been suffering from ADD all this time, the information I just shared with you should help you alleviate all these symptoms and eventually set you free from its effects. Now, if you truly want a speedy recovery and suspect you might be a victim of other related disorders that may be affecting your playing, allow me to be of assistance. My clinic is open 24/7 on the internet, and I have a wonderful 1-year rehab program for you that will provide all the knowledge and unique exercises to help you reach your true potential as a jazz guitarist. Please stick around for just a few more minutes and let me tell you about it. Developed over a 10-year period while teaching at several universities, I designed this comprehensive course with the goal of teaching you jazz improvisation as a language. The focus is not on learning a bunch of riffs, but instead on how to unlock and apply a musical grammar that will enable you to fluently construct phrases over any chord progression in the same way that we organize words into logical sentences when we speak. The great jazz improvisers don't rely on playing memorized riffs. They can solo chorus after chorus, smoothly interconnecting idea after idea, because they have become fluent at idiomatically developing melodies over any given harmonic context. And this is exactly what I want to show you from a guitar-oriented perspective. This online course is comprised of 2 volumes. Volume 1 alone includes 3 books and over 150 videos. It will unravel the method to this madness, which we call jazz improvisation, in a logical, detailed, step-by-step method. All the exercises are available as downloadable PDFs, audio MP3s, and even band-in-a-box files. You also get access to a forum where you can get answers to any questions that may arise. Best of all, it is super affordable and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. No questions asked. For more info, please visit be-bop-guitar.richiezellon.com and find out how hundreds of guitarists worldwide are taking their playing to a whole new level.